Mental health is a universal human experience, but for many Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, the journey to care is often blocked by stigma, silence, and systemic barriers. Today, we're breaking those barriers. In this documentary, we'll explore the unique challenges faced by the AAPI community when it comes to mental health, share powerful personal stories, and highlight efforts to create a more inclusive and supportive future. From intergenerational trauma to the pressures of cultural expectations, these are the untold stories of resilience, courage, and hope. In many AAPI cultures, mental health struggles are often seen as a weakness or a source of shame. Terms like losing face can discourage individuals from seeking help, leaving them to suffer in silence. According to studies, only 8.6% of AAPI adults seek mental health services, compared to nearly 18% of the general U.S. population. But why does this stigma persist? For many, it's tied to deeply rooted cultural values, respect for authority, prioritizing family honor, and the belief that personal struggles should remain private. Mental health isn't just an individual issue, it's a family issue. When someone speaks up, they're not just risking their own reputation, they're risking the perception of the entire family. This fear of judgment creates a cycle of silence, one that we must break if we want to move forward. For many AAPI families, the scars of history run deep. War, displacement, and migration have left lasting impacts on generations. These experiences shape not just our identities but also how we process emotions, and often, how we suppress them. Take, for example, the story of Manguin, a Vietnamese-American woman who grew up hearing her parents' harrowing tales of fleeing Vietnam during the war. For years, she struggled with anxiety but never spoke about it because her family viewed therapy as unnecessary. "My parents always said, 'We survived so much worse, you'll be fine.' But surviving doesn't mean healing. I had to learn that asking for help wasn't a betrayal of my family, it was a way to honor their sacrifices by taking care of myself." Intergenerational trauma affects countless AAPI families, but understanding its roots is the first step toward healing. The model minority myth, the stereotype that all AAPI individuals are naturally successful and resilient, creates unrealistic expectations. Behind the facade of achievement lies immense pressure to excel academically, professionally, and socially without showing any signs of struggle. This myth erases the diversity within the AAPI community and overlooks the very real mental health challenges faced by millions. The model minority myth tells people they don't deserve help because they're supposed to have it all together. It invalidates their pain and makes it harder for them to seek support. But the truth is, no one has it all together, and there's strength in admitting that. Despite these challenges, change is happening. Across the country, grassroots organizations and advocates are working tirelessly to normalize conversations about mental health within the AAPI community. From culturally tailored therapy programs to language-accessible resources, these efforts are making care more accessible than ever before. One such initiative is Project Lotus, which trains therapists to provide culturally competent care specifically for AAPI clients. We need to meet people where they are, culturally, linguistically, and emotionally. That means hiring therapists who look like the communities they serve and creating spaces where people feel understood. By bridging gaps in representation and accessibility, organizations like Project Lotus are paving the way for a brighter future. Every story of struggle is also a story of resilience. Take David Chen, a second-generation Chinese American who battled depression for years before finding solace through art therapy. Or Leani TAMU, a Samoan American advocate who uses storytelling to destigmatize mental health in Pacific Islander communities. These voices remind us that healing is possible, and that no one has to face their battles alone. Art gave me a voice when I didn't have words. Now, I use it to inspire others to find their own path to healing. Together, we can rewrite the narrative around mental health in the AAPI community, one story at a time. Mental health is not a burden to bear alone, it's a shared responsibility. By breaking the silence, challenging stereotypes, and building bridges to care, we can create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and supported. Join the movement. Share your story. Seek help. Together, let's build a future where mental health care is equitable and accessible for all.